we're back. We are back again, and this time it's not an unboxing, even though I am going to unbox, but it's more of a, not really a comparison because there's plenty of them being done out there. More of just to say that everybody has problems. So, but first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who has liked, subscribed, and left comments. And if you have, I shall get back to you very soon. And secondly, it wouldn't be the same without a good cup of tea. Cheers. Now, let's start opening. And what I am talking about is the beautiful Accurascale Class 37. This particular one is not mine, and this is Lord Hinton 37409. It looks absolutely stunning, and just so happens to have, this is mine, the Bachmann sound fitted Class 37043 with the Highland Terrier on it. As I do have them on the track, and as I do have them sitting next to each other, I will do a little bit of a comparison. Obviously, you have to remember, these are 4 marks apart from each other, so 37043 and then 37409. Obviously, the first one has the head code boxes, as in the first generation of the Class 37's, where obviously the one on the left doesn't. The one on the right doesn't even have a cant rail, and that's how early that 37 is. The fit and finish of both locos is absolutely astonishing. Obviously, it comes down to the individual person and what you're wanting and things like that. Obviously, the loco on the left, you have the beautiful little foot plates leading up into the cab door. The depths of the step on the left-hand one, which is the Accurascale, are so much deeper than the ones on the right. I don't know what would be prototypical, but they both look amazing. Obviously, you've got the extra colours on the bogies on the Accurascale, which obviously make it stand out so much more. Moving along the side, you obviously have a decorated fuel tank, as in terms of the fuel gauge. On the later model, as in terms of 37409, it is surrounded by a red cover. Moving to the roof, on the Bachmann loco, the actual handrails to undo the covers for the engine bay do look like it's not an actual handrail. It looks like just a moulding, as opposed to the 37 Accurascale, where it's actually a handrail in place. They both have beautifully decorated interiors, and if you also notice as well that the wipers on the left one stick out to the outside of the loco, where on the right hand side 37043 they point inwards. Regarding the decoration to the front of the Bachmann loco, I do have a detail pack that I haven't put on it. I usually leave it off until the loco has been run in and everything. But unfortunately, with this particular loco, I am having issues with what sounds like to be a gearbox. But thankfully, the shop is aware of the problem, and I'm going back to the shop to replace it with a new one. In the early years of the 37, in this case 37043, the ones that were based in Scotland, some of them were named after locks. This particular loco is Loch Lomond, and they also had a Highland Terrier on the side. Enough of me comparing the two. Obviously this wasn't a comparison, but it's turned out to be one. I'll play you some sounds. there you go. There's a little mini comparison. There are other people out there that have done better editions than me. Coming down to obviously either personal preference, money, and things like that. It really is take your pick. You know, obviously the Bachmann does retail at a lot more expensive, so it does actually retail. So a Sound Deluxe does retail at, what's it, 380. Obviously we know that's a stupid amount, but we also know that, as far as I'm aware, no shops are actually selling at that price because they just wouldn't sell them. You know, especially as of the moment, you have Accurascale out there selling them so cheaply, if you like. I mean, maybe our perception of, you know, quality and the technology used has just become a little bit off kilter. I mean, are they actually worth 380 quid? Maybe we are paying under what they are actually valued at and things like that, you know. Obviously they all have their problems. So I have four Bachmann locos and 2 of them have gone wrong. So that's 50% of the workforce. So the first one, Sir Murray Morrison, so I got that from Rails of Sheffield. They reckon it was possibly the motor that had worked loose, so it's just really vibrating. And yeah, so, and then the second one, so the one you see on here, 37043. That sounds like a bogey slash maybe gearbox issue. It sort of just does a bit of vibrating, not the whole loco, but you can just hear it. So when it's pulling a train, or it's behind a loco or with another loco, it's just making that little vibrate. So it's not as smooth as it should be. And yeah, it's just like, but the shops are aware of it. So I got that one from Great Eastern Model Railways, and that's all in hand. I'm taking it back up there. They do have, excuse me, they do have another on the shelf, so I'll swap it with that, and I'll just pay them a visit. The Sir Murray Morrison one, Rails of Sheffield, sorted it, absolutely perfect. The service was amazing, so I sent it back by the post, and then obviously they looked at it and things like that, confirmed what it was, or they confirmed that it couldn't be fixed. And they sent me a brand new one, and the brand new one is amazing. It just is such a smooth run and everything like that. Obviously with the Accurascale, like, you know, they're fully aware of what their issues are, but when you've already, let's say, when you've already said, right, we've placed the order for 500 locos, and then problems start coming out, you can't just change it just like that. So I generally believe that all the things will hopefully get ironed out and things like that, because I think like the very like chip issues and motor issues, I think motor issues is the biggest one, and occasional bogey issues as well. But then my brother's got 3 locos, so he's got this one, so the large logo. He's also got the intercity one, which is what, 37419 possibly. All sound, so both of them sound, and the third one he's got is the National Railway Museums one, so I think that's the BR green with the little yellow ends. I think that's a non-sound. I don't know why they didn't want sound in them, but so unfortunately my brother's got to place sound in that. But you know what, these have been faultless, absolutely faultless, 0 problems. I mean, he's done the running in on them and things like that, but I'm not going to say that it's not going to go wrong. I mean, as of the moment, it's been absolutely perfect. Maybe if you've done that little bit more running, you know, maybe the faults will develop, but then it also comes down to the batch and things like that. So I mean, this particular batch was, well, it seems to be absolutely faultless. But yeah, he's really happy with them, and they look absolutely stunning. I mean, it is personal opinion and what you like. I love them both, and and I think everybody will say this, the sound of the Accurascale 37 is just incredible. It's just so much deeper, and I also love the little pop when it first started up. Like there's a little bit of fuel in the exhaust, just igniting, just that little pop. Obviously you didn't get it with the Bachmann, but is the Bachmann rubbish? Hell no, in terms of sound, that is, in terms of sound. No, it's not. It still sounds great. Could it sound better? Oh yeah, of course it does. We all know it could sound better. In terms of detail, I would say overall the Accurascale is just that little bit more over the Bachmann model. I really do. It's just little things like maybe the interior detail and things like that. But is that saying that the Bachmann model is rubbish? No, definitely not. The Bachmann model is astonishing. It's just I feel like the Accurascale is just that little bit step ahead. Does that bother me that I've got the Bachmann loco over Accurascale? No, it does not. I'm not fussed whatsoever. They're just both amazing runners, or these particular models are. Well, I say that obviously with the issues with my one, but I know it's going to get sorted out. So it really doesn't bother me. As long as everything's in place to get sorted out and they're aware of the issues, then what's the problem? Yes, it's a pain in the ass to get it sorted, to send it back, to receive the new one and things like that. And that is why I didn't put the detail pack on mine, because obviously I wanted it, ran in, I wanted to make sure there was no faults with it and things like that. So, and obviously there's an issue with this, so I'll send it back. The Accurascale and the Bachmann, they both have interior lights, interiors as well, in terms of the engine bay and everything like that. And yeah, they're just amazing models. It's personal preference, obviously. The Bachmann box, it almost looks simple compared to the Accurascale box. It really does. But box is a box, you know. I mean, I intend to keep it in one large box, so with other loco, so having it in that isn't really going to bother me. So in terms of pulling power, I'm not really too sure what could pull what, but I don't think it really matters too much. But I will do a loco weigh-in. Here we go. This is the Accurascale loco, and this feels bloody heavy, I tell you. It was really heavy. Right, there you go. So that is a monster, a shade under 700 grams. 694 if you can't read that. So that is the Accurascale, completely standard, with sound and obviously with a speaker. Now, this feels light as a feather in comparison. There we go. A measly, there we go, 524. Obviously, that's 170 grams difference. Obviously, depends what you're pulling. Was it going to affect to what I'm pulling? No, not for a single loco at all. Yes, it is a big amount, but it is what it is. It obviously comes down to design and how they've built it. The advantages for or with the Accurascale, and I do love this, is the access to the chip. There we go, access to the chip. You literally just take the roof off. This is just held on by magnets. So magnets there. So there, and there. And obviously they just magnetize down to here, so you have access to the chip. Obviously with the Bachmann, you have to, I think there's something like 8 screws. There's 8 screws that you have to undo, and obviously then the whole shell comes off. But it's not hard. It's not hard to come off. But there is wires that go to the shell which are very fiddly to separate. The things I do love about the Bachmann model over the Accurascale is the brake. So on the Bachmann, number two, is the brake. So you actually physically have to press number 2 to slow the loco down. So obviously you take the power off, push number 2, and it will slowly bring the loco to a halt. And you obviously hear it as well with the air. The only trouble is, obviously, with certain controllers, it works differently. So with like the horn for the Accurascale, because we use here at home the ZTC, every time I push the horn, so if I push the horn, I'd have to push it again to cancel it out. So it will put the horn on, but then I have to push it again to turn the horn off. But my brother, he uses the NCE power cab, so you can just push the button and it automatically comes off. So that stays on for as long as you hold your button down, which I feel like it's a good way. But obviously with this controller, it's not so great, because obviously you got enter, etc, etc. But I do love the brake on the Bachmann model. Obviously, like I say, all-wheel interior lights, etc. And they're just both amazing models. They really are. It is personal taste. Obviously, with, like, what can I say, with the issues, I think most manufacturers will have issues somewhere along the lines. Yeah, they seem to be, you know, cropping up. Considering that's their second loco. Their first one was the Class 55. So I'd like to think that any issues that have needed to be ironed out for the next batch have already been done so. And it's the same with the 37. I do have an Accurascale 37 on order. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what that is because I'm going to do an unboxing, obviously. And yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, and it's personal taste, absolutely personal taste. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe. Until next time, just want to say a massive thank you to my brother for allowing me to borrow his loco. He has done an unboxing on his locos as well, on all three of them. I think it's on two of them because I don't think the last one's got sound. But he's done an unboxing on these two. So I'll put his link down below for his channel. So have a little scroll through there. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see you later.